After a long day at work, I don't want to be tested, and I don't want stress. I don't want something that feels like another task, and I definitely don't need another challenge after dealing with Susan from accounting today. I just want something I can sink into, something I can unwind with. So this is not a traditional review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This is a review of how it feels like to play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order after a long day at work. I played this game mostly in short sessions after work. An hour here, maybe 40 minutes there. Sometimes I wouldn't touch it for a few days, and then come back on a random Tuesday evening. I wasn't trying to master every mechanic, I wasn't chasing well-timed parries, and I wasn't after that perfect hitless run. I was just playing to unwind and enjoying everything the game had to offer at my own pace. And I think that changes how you experience a game like this. I'm not reviewing this as a hardcore gamer. I'm reviewing this as someone who works long hours at a demanding job, and these are my reflections after becoming a Jedi. So the real question is, how good is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order when you're mentally drained and just want to switch off? First, mental load. Does this game require a lot of thinking? Surprisingly, not really. Yes, there are skill trees, and yes, there's some backtracking, but once you understand the basics, it becomes fairly intuitive. The skill tree feels rewarding with unique attacks which brought out the Jedi in me. It certainly never felt like I need to min-max the skill tree to stay ahead. The map is straightforward, with little hidden rooms and secrets to explore, although at times I found myself lost trying to figure out the mini-map and where to go. I never felt overwhelmed by the systems. I never felt like I needed to remember 14 different mechanics just to survive. This made the game enjoyable and relaxing after a long day. Secondly, the pick up and play factor. This was one of the biggest surprises. Even after not playing for a few days, I could jump back in without feeling lost. The controls are natural, the objectives are clear enough. I did not feel like I had to watch a YouTube video to understand where I was in the story. You're rarely confused about what you're doing. The only thing I occasionally forgot was which walls I could actually climb. Atmosphere and immersion. This is where the game really shines. The environments are cinematic. The music carries that classic Star Wars tone. Familiar, but not overwhelming. You can just exist in these spaces for a while, standing on top of a waterfall in Kashyyyk and taking in the views, or the creepy silence of Dathomir. Even when you're not doing much, it feels immersive. The atmosphere actually reminded me of watching Star Wars as a kid with my dad. Sitting on the couch, no work stress, no deadlines, no inbox with 60 unread emails. No pressure. This game brought back memories I didn't even realize were still in there, buried somewhere in my slightly unorganized, mildly chaotic brain. Playing this as an adult almost makes you feel like a true Jedi. If, of course, your definition of a true Jedi includes aggressively resolving workplace stress across multiple planets like a mass murderer. Now for combat. This is where things can either ruin an after-work session or make it satisfying. After a long shift, sometimes I don't want to learn enemy patterns. I don't want to be punished because I blinked. The game has multiple difficulty settings, and I decided to play on Jedi Knight difficulty. There are plenty of different attack abilities to always keep the combat fun and engaging. This isn't button mashing power fantasy, it's patience, spacing, and and timing. There's a very specific frustration that comes from dying to a stormtrooper's rogue shot when you've already been defeated by Outlook emails earlier that day. The combat was forgiving, which allowed me to play without frustration or smashing my controller on the desk. Although I was humbled quite a few times, but that's between me and the stormtroopers. And lastly, session friendliness. This might be the most important category. The game does an excellent job at giving you save points in the form of meditation circles. The meditation circles acts as a natural stopping point. You can explore a small area, clear a few enemies, and log off without feeling like you abandoned the mission halfway through. It doesn't demand a 4-hour marathon, which is perfect if you just need that short burst of endorphins after work. I don't have free Saturdays anymore. I have a Tuesday evening and a slight headache. This game was exactly what I needed for a mid-week work break. There is always something comforting about knowing I can stop. I don't need to squeeze every ounce of progress out of a session. Some nights, I'll clear one area, sit at the meditation circle, and call it there. And that feels complete. The game doesn't guilt you for logging off. It doesn't punish you for having a life. It just waits. Which is good, because I have work in the morning, and unfortunately, that doesn't have a save point. There were evenings where I almost didn't turn the game on. You know those days. Work drains you. You don't really want stimulation. You just want something familiar. And this game surprised me there. It felt comfortable. Not overwhelming, not loud, just steady. It became something I could return to without pressure. I've started judging games by something I call the mental load test. When I turn it off, do I feel lighter or more drained? Fallen Order mostly leaves me lighter, focused, but not tired. And that's rare. It doesn't overload you with systems. It doesn't flood you with quests. It doesn't feel like a second job. And that's what makes an after-work game valuable. I think games hit differently as an adult. When I was younger, Star Wars was an adventure. Now, it's decompression. I'm not playing to escape responsibility. I'm playing after I've handled it. There's something satisfying about finishing a shift, handling your real-world problems, and then stepping into a galaxy far, far away where there are no urgent Teams messages. I can't parry awkward meetings, but I can parry a stormtrooper. I used to marathon games for 6 hours straight. Now, if I play past 10:30 p.m, I regret it professionally and emotionally. Maybe that's what this game really is. Not a masterpiece, not flawless, just a solid place to land after a long day on Earth. So here's my review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from someone that has a full-time job. Overall, as an after-work experience, I'd absolutely recommend it. I had a blast with this game. This was a game I could turn to after work and just de-stress. The combat was fun and the story not too overly complicated. I felt immersed in the beautifully created planets, and the twist at the end was a great surprise. Sure, it's not perfect, but this is a game that respects your time and the energy you put in it. If you play games to unwind after work, not to compete. This channel might be for you. I'll be reviewing some more games through this lens. Thanks for watching.